Folks, just when you thought things could not get worse for Tim Walz right here, the self-described knucklehead strikes again, digging himself into a deeper political hole that's just frankly at this point become a national embarrassment. This isn't just a slip-up, it's a glaring example of how out of touch Walz is and the Democrats have become, especially since the 2024 loss to Trump. It is just absolutely insane. Take a look at what he was saying.
Saying on my phone, I know some of you know this on the iPhone. Saying on my phone, I know some of you know this on the iPhone. They've got that little stock app. I added Tesla to it to give me a little boost during the day. 225 and dropping. So, and
it's like, really, what a complete moron. Cheering for the failure of an American company? Well, the audience claps like a bunch of seals. They act like this is some sort of victory here. And it really ties back to directly into the broader political backlash against Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency. You know, as it's been noted, there's a lot of people who on the left who are not real thrilled with this here. That's just the reality of the situation. And here's the thing, and just so everyone remembers, this is the same guy who, according to his financial filings when he was running for vice president, showed that he basically had no money in any retirement accounts. Walz's financial disclosures showed that he owned no individual stocks, no bonds or mutual funds, virtually no investments at all, which for a governor of a state in the United States is pretty unusual. So this really must have been Tim Walz's first time ever opening up that stocks app on his phone. You know, making his comments are not just tone deaf, but it's laughable. And it's hypocritical for someone pretending to understand financial markets. This guy has no idea what the hell he's doing. It's like, what a joke. It's bizarre to see a politician rooting against Tesla, an American company that employs 80,000 Americans, pays billions and billions and billions of dollars in taxes annually, and drives innovation in sustainable technology. Now, you can have the debate whether the technology is sustainable or not, but Tesla was a proud piece of the Democrat movement for the last 2 decades. Sustainable technology. And then Biden gets in and they have an EV summit at the White House and they invite everyone except the king of electric vehicles, Tesla, all over political issues. Like, Elon Musk is literally the embodiment of the American dream. An immigrant who built multiple companies, Tesla, SpaceX, from scratch, creating jobs and pushing technology boundaries. Yet Democrats, including Tim Walz, Tampon Tim, seems intent on demonizing him for a political shift in his support for Trump versus, I guess, Biden, you would say, in 2020. And here's the real question. Did Elon Musk leave the Democrat Party or did the Democrat Party leave Elon Musk? That's the real question. Remember, not that long ago, the Democrats had Elon Musk. They had Joe Rogan. They had RFK Jr. They had Tulsi Gabbard. The average Democrat voter is leaving the party. And it's not because the party left them, because they left the party. It's because the party left them. And like we said, this ties into a much deeper structural issue for the Democrat Party. They're increasingly out of touch with the average person and have abandoned their historical identity as the party of the working class. By every metric, voter data, polling, economic alignment, Democrats have morphed into the party of the elites, the wealthy, and really the faction of society that believes they're superior to everyone else. It's like, that's just a reality. This is who they cater to now. And the idiocy of these comments are just, for a supposedly a top-tier politician who was could have been the number 2 politician. He could have been the vice president of the United States. And this moron, this buffoon, is clapping like a seal because their stock price dropped. But here's the thing, this is how even more idiotic he is, because any long-term investor, if this was a company they followed and they were interested in, would see a golden opportunity to buy into the market. You can buy into the market, an industry leader in innovation and technology, at a discount. So if you're going to celebrate the decline, at least recognize it for the reality that it is a good starting position for a new investor. And I'm not saying that you should go invest in Tesla, because I personally don't invest in Tesla. But if that is a company and the financials are right and you believe that this is a well-discounted value. This is a value play here. You can buy a dollar bill for 80 cents, and then you can realize the recognition of reality when the stock price rises again, ultimately. It's like this is Benjamin Graham value investing 101 right here. And the thing is that most Americans' retirement savings are invested in the stock market, often through broad market index funds, through their 401ks or their IRAs. And guess what? Tesla is one of the world's largest companies and is a significant holding in many of these funds. Vanguard, State Street, Fidelity, many of these funds that they have hold large stakes in Tesla, meaning Tim Walz is essentially cheering for financial losses for millions and millions, tens of millions of Americans, including retirees and workers that have saved for the future. Take a listen to Kevin O'Leary over on CNN talk about this. He makes a really good point.
I'm talking about Tim Walz and his comments about the Tesla stock. He says it gives him a boost to see that stock going down.
That poor guy didn't check his portfolio and his own pension plan for state. It's beyond stupid what he did. He's talking down a 3.5% weighting in his own pension plan. I mean, what's the matter with that guy? He doesn't check the well-being of his own constituents in his state. I mean, that's their investment fund. Point, what a bozo.
The Minnesota Tesla State Board of Investment, they have 1.6 million shares in Tesla in their retirement fund, 211,000 shares in a non-retirement fund. It's a relatively small amount, but that's one company, one single stock, and that's because Tesla is a huge part of the tech growth. But this is not the first time that companies have been in the crosshairs of protests. I mean, Republicans have protested companies all the time.
You're a criminal.
And like you said, Walz's own state of Minnesota has nearly 2 million shares of Tesla in its state retirement and non-retirement investment funds. Like this guy, like Kevin said, Kevin O'Leary, he's a bozo. That's what Tim Walz is. He is a bozo. This guy is This guy is nuts. Because who ultimately is cheering for this? Who is cheering for this here? You know, cheering against a company that does wonderful things in the world, producing electric vehicles, advancing sustainable transportation, rescuing stranded astronauts from space, may I say? You know, people, a small faction of people might be appeased, a small radical group of young socialists on a college campus living in a radical left-wing echo chamber. They might find enjoyment in this, and the fact that Tesla's stock dropped, and that they're cheering for the destruction of 80,000 good-paying American jobs. But the vast majority of Americans who aren't in that bubble, who work hard, who save diligently, invest to secure their retirements, this kind of behavior is appalling and alienated to them. One of the biggest groups Democrats have lost support from is young voters, especially men. As you saw post-2024 election, it is crystal clear that if you're a young man under your 30s, or under 30, someone like me, under 30, who inspires you? You know, you're working towards your goals in life. Who inspires you to get out of bed? Like, who's an example you look up to? Do you look up to beta male Tim Walz, who is cheering over the fact that a stock dropped and he probably doesn't even understand what the hell that means? Or a visionary investor who overcame, who built dozens of companies, revolutionized industries, and saved astronauts in space? Like, let's be real about this. This is not even a contest. Like, Tim Walz is not even in this race. He's in the stands watching this race. And, you know, Walz's remarks tangled together with the broader hostility from Democrats towards Tesla, it is insane. It is asinine. And really what they're doing is they're fueling this perception that the Democrats, this stank that the Democrats have had for years now, is only being fueled. They're fueling the perception that Democrats are anti-innovation, they're anti-American industry, they're anti-working class values. And Republicans have already capitalized on this hugely. And there are a lot of people who truly believe that Democrats are destroying great American companies, which this could give the Republicans a potent opportunity to campaign on and capitalize on in 2026. But here's the reality. This is not just a 24-hour fiasco. It is a personal embarrassment for Walz, and it ties into a broader systemic issue that the Democrat Party has, a stank that they have right now, this broader structural crisis, where their elite, out-of-touch stance is really alienating the very voters they need to win back, especially in key industrial working class regions. You look at Pennsylvania. Where was the election decided? In 24. And you want to know something? Coming up here soon, after 2030 when they do the census, things are going to be a lot tougher for Democrats. Let's just put it that way. This is what we're looking at as of right now. Texas will pick up 4 electoral votes. Florida will pick up 4. Arizona, Utah, Idaho pick up 3 in total. California will lose 3. Oregon 1. Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois will lose 1. Pennsylvania will lose 1. New York will lose 2. And Rhode Island, I believe, will lose 1. Which, if you're looking at the 2020 election, let's just take a look at this. What this would look like in the 2028 election. So, obviously, these are our toss-up states as of right now. The Republicans, if it was in 2032 after they do the census, Republicans win Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, North Carolina, and then you factor in the fact that California will lose 3, Oregon will lose 1, and really you just have to look, Texas will pick up 4, Florida will pick up 4, Arizona, Utah, Idaho, that'll be 3. So 11 votes. Literally, if you just win the state of Florida too, like one of these, that's all you need. And boom, you're at 270 already. You don't even need to win Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. So even if the Democrats find a way to win back industrial working class bases in Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin, which I believe if the Republicans do what they're supposed to do, will not happen. But even then, if they can somehow find a way to do this again, this number will not be 270. It'll be an 11-point difference. It will be 279, excuse me. That's just it. It's over. The Democrats are going to struggle really, really heavily with that. And it is a structural issue that they are out of touch, and they've alienated these voters. And honestly, at this point, I don't know what they're going to do. I would hate to be a Democrat. Let's just put it that way. But like we said, Tim Walz's very rough 24 hours isn't just about one bad comment. It is a glaring symptom of the Democrat Party, who cannot reconcile with their base, who, they have this ideological purity, and that purity is not the right word, but within inside of the Democrat Party that is not in line with everyday Americans. And if Democrats do not course correct, they will continue to lose ground to a Republican Party that is every day increasing its alignment with figures like Musk, who resonate with younger men, innovators. And you can make the case against working class voters with Musk, but ultimately the Republican Party represents the working class much, much more than the Democrats do at this point in time. Especially working class voters who are disillusioned with the Democrat elite. They've become the party of the wealthy, the party of the elitists, the West Coast elitists. And Walz is a complete knucklehead, and it's a wake-up call. If the Democrats have any chance of winning, they need to kick Tim Walz to the curb, now. So that's going to wrap things up for today. Smash that like button, hit that subscribe button. We will catch you next time, folks.